Welcome to Stop It, the podcast for women who are all over the all or nothing mindset, stuck in burnout, and tired of thinking her body is the problem. Hey, I'm Emily Erb, exercise physiologist, wifey, and mama of two, and your no fluff macro transformational coach who will absolutely share the hard truths, but always with love. I overshare, I keep it real, and I'm here to help you break free from restriction, rebuild trust with your body, and finally create results that last without losing your mind or your favorite foods. So if you've ever thought I should be further along or I just need more discipline, stop it. This is your place for real talk, real tools, and real change. If you are ready for a transformation from the inside out, then you are in the right place. Hey, 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 welcome back to Stop It. I'm your host, Emily Erb, and I have a special guest for you. I'm so excited. We finally got our schedules coordinated. Thankfully, our mom, we were able to tap her in to help out with some childcare. I cannot wait to introduce to you the person who has been my ride or die since I was born. My favorite older sister, Sarah Mixell, the mom who went viral on my Instagram account, who's ready to go, who has tickets to Pound Town. Okay. Was that a good enough intro for you,
That
Sarah?
was great. That was great. Hey, everybody. I cannot wait to be on this podcast with my sister. I hope you guys have went to the bathroom because there's get ready for a lots of laughs.
This is totally not scripted at all. We are just going to just
Off
have
the
a
cuff.
really, yeah, off the cuff. We're going to keep it real. But before we start, I really want people to just kind of get to know you a little bit, Sarah, and who you
Okay.
are. How many kids do you have? Like, yeah, like tell us about yourself.
All right. So besides the fact that I'm awesome,
And the older
and
sister.
have an amazing sister and one amazing sister in Michigan, I have been married to my husband of 10 years in September. We just had our 10-year anniversary. Emily, that went so fast. Like it is just crazy how I swiped right and then here we are. So like all those people out there that are still single, Tinder worked for me.
And
Um
by the way, this was not a plug for Tinder. I do not, I don't get any money for if you swipe right.
oh my
Oh,
gosh,
Sarah,
not
that's
a
funny.
plug for Tinder. That's funny. But it's even funny like thinking back, I'll introduce myself, but I'm thinking about when I got married and I used my Fitness Pal and tracked back in the day, but I didn't really know what I was tracking. So we can get into that later.
Yeah.
But we've been married for 10 years. We have three kids. Nora is 8, Lucy is 6, and Jude, guys, we went for the third and we got a boy and he is wild. So all the judgment that I had of Emily and her boys, why are they throwing that? Why aren't they sitting down? Yeah, it's all back in my face now because I have a wild, loving 3-year-old boy who keeps me very busy. I teach nursing clinicals, um, and I love it. I still get to do bedside and help nursing students and get to do what I love. And I'm also going back for my master's so I can keep teaching nursing students. So I am a very busy mom. And oh, and I coach my daughter's softball team. And I teach Sunday school for the 2 and 3-year-olds. What is wrong with me? As if I don't get enough action with my 3-year-old at home. So I think that's
And
enough
you,
about like,
oh my gosh, yeah. Well, and I think it just gets
I'm
people to
exhausted
maybe,
talking about it.
I know. Sarah, that's so amazing though, because I know you did couplet care and labor and delivery for so many years, a lot of bedside nursing, and
Yeah.
then I know you were really wanting to still have some sort of career, but you didn't want to go back to bedside, and so then you decided to do something completely new and different. And I remember the fear, like talking about going back to school, and you were so afraid, and girl, you're doing it. Like that's
Yeah,
so
like how was
amazing.
I gonna make this work? Like the
Hmm.
last time I wrote a paper was 2009. Like, and I've had 3 kids since there. My brain's mush. Like, do I remember for all those people out there that have to write papers, APA, like to cite things and yeah, it was a big deep like jump for me, but I'm thankful that like I had my husband and like you to support me and like we honestly have a great family. Like a lot of great family support that's like we support each other and build each other up, which is awesome.
Yeah. And was it really more scarier in your head than what you thought? Because once you started school, I mean, you were sending me your PowerPoint presentations, and I was like, wow, Sarah, that's really impressive.
Well, it was like I remember like in my head it was awful. And like the first week I definitely was like, "Oh, like I leaned on Jefferson hard. I'm like, I can't do this." And then next thing like it was just like riding a bike. Like literally, like
Mhm.
once I started writing again and like figuring out the topics and how to be like time management with it and not spend so much time on the littler things that aren't weighted as heavy, um it got easier. So anybody out there
Yeah.
thinking about going back for their masters with 3 kids, you definitely can do it.
I remember when I used to work in wellness and I did the health screenings and I would meet a lot of people that way. And I remember this was before we, like, either of us were married and had kids. And I remember talking to a mom and she was going back. She was my degree, exercise science, and she was going back to PA school and she had kids and she was still working. And you're doing all that. Like, you're still working, you're still going to school, and you have kids. And I remember thinking, like, how does she do it all? Like, that, like, always blew my mind. But I think it's so awesome to share those stories to say that like it is possible. And yeah, there's a little bit of sacrifice in that, right? Like you might not be doing the things like maybe you're watching a little bit less Netflix on some of the days,
For
right?
sure.
Of
Yeah.
like our downtime when the kids are napping and we're like we take that time for ourselves. And do you feel like you're still finding some time for yourself as well and not just like doing all the things?
Well, I think that that was definitely something I struggled with the first semester. Like I went all in, like
Hmm.
I'd get the girls on the bus at 7. And yes, Manheim Central starts way early. So I'd get them on the bus at 7 and then I would come home and I would do schoolwork for like 45 minutes and then I would get chewed up, do our thing, put them for nap, do schoolwork right away. Like but I was finding that that was not serving me. So I found more chunk it up or like, okay, Wednesday is my day that I'm going to take that time when he's napping for me. Or I
Hmm.
asked for help. Like I'd have mom and pop take Jude just like they are now so I could get some schoolwork done with while he's awake.
Can I ask you this? Because I know, Sarah, like being the oldest, that was always really hard for you to ask for help. Like
Oh,
you were always the fixer. One, you're the nurse in the family, so you were medical, right? Like
yeah.
then you married someone medical too. So it's like you and Jefferson were, our medical people. Um, and that was just in you to just always do everything and fix everything and solve everything. I mean, I always remember when I would talk to you about stuff, you went into like, okay, fix it mode. Like, how am I going to fix this for my sister?
Right.
And so I'm curious, how were you able to let go of not doing it all yourself and allow yourself to ask for help or delegate? Like, how were you able to like get out of that?
Well, let me tell you, the third one is the game changer. The third one knocks you down a peg. Like with the girls, I thought, man, rock star mom. Not that I'm not a rock star mom now, but like you were always on your toes with Jude. Like that frontal cortex or whatever not being developed for a 3-year-old boy is something that I've never experienced with the girls. So I think just the third one in general, like, has already like brought me back to like I can't do it all
Hmm.
and that I needed to ask for help. And then obviously mom right down the road and her being more open and communicating with like what I needed is has helpful. But that was like a humble pill I had to take. Like that
Yeah.
was not easy for me to want to ask for help or rely on other people like you said because in my head if I asked for help, I was failing.
Mm.
And like if I'm being honest because this is what we do here, like sometimes, Hillary and her digs, like she would say like, "Oh, you get a lot of help from mom." And I'm like,
Mhm.
like if anybody knows, like then I think and think and think about that. But the reality is, I'm not getting help. I'm using my tools.
Yeah.
And like mom and pop hanging out with Jude is a tool that's keeping me sane and keeping me able to be the mom I want to be, focus on my goals, and be present for my kids when they're here and not be thinking, oh, when am I going to get this stuff done?
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah, I know so many moms struggle with that, of just letting ourselves ask for help when we
Yeah.
need it. And one of the things I remember, I don't know if I listened it to it somewhere, but it really helped me change my perspective in like, what if me asking, because leaning on my neighbors was very uncomfortable for me. And I know that you have a really great community with your neighbors and you guys
Yo,
really lean
shout
on each
out
other a
to
lot.
my community
You do.
because it is honestly, I just asked the mom. I know, I'm sorry, I cut you off, but
It's
like,
okay.
I do need to shout out to them because I just asked the mom the other day. I was like, hey, can we trade again this year with our kids so I can go into Nora's school party and then I'll take your kids when you want to go into your boys' school party. And it just is so cool to have that. So you also have other people to like look out for. Or with me being in school, like the one mom's like, hey, I can grab Nora and Lucy off the bus to give you an extra hour. Like it doesn't seem like a lot, but in that time, it's a rock
It's
star. So
huge.
like let's hear about how you got on the neighborhood train
Yeah.
because it
I,
is one train that is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw you build this really awesome community
Yeah.
of other women who are in the same place. And it was uncomfortable for me to ask for help, but I want to ask you this because this is what helped me is when you're helping out other women, like other moms, when they come to you, they're like, "Hey, Sarah, do you mind getting the kids off the bus and just keeping them for like even like a half an hour to go pick up Giant to go, right?
Yeah.
Without taking the kids." How does that make you feel when you're able to do and help out another mama?
You know how it makes me feel.
I
It
know.
makes me feel
Yeah.
like on a high.
Yeah.
Like one of our neighbors just had a baby and I was able to go over, actually two neighbors recently have had babies and I've been able to like use my tools to help them because
Mhm.
I am such a helper. So
Yeah.
like, but I've also had to find that balance too of like also being able to say like, yes, I want to be helpful and I want to be present, but that's also not like that doesn't make me more valuable to that person. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've been trying to work on that too, where like but I found this community that like we don't take advantage of each other. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we're not over asking. And it's also like if you can't,
It's okay,
it's
right?
okay
Like it
too.
doesn't change anything about you. It
There's no
doesn't mean
expectations, which is awesome.
yes. Yeah. And I think to the point of when you're giving and serving and helping, like you feel so good. And that was the hump that I was able to get over. Where when I first asked a mom in my neighborhood to help me get the kids on the bus, I was like sweating and panicking. I remember texting her and I kept saying, okay, well, if, like, I'm giving her an opportunity to be able to say yes and to help me out, and that probably will make her feel good. And
Yeah.
so, like, once I did it, then it has gotten a lot easier for me. And now, like, I don't really struggle as much asking for help because I completely changed my belief around it. Like, success is never done alone, right? Like, any person who's ever reached like really amazing goals, like, it's never done alone. Like, I mean, you raising your kids, it's not done alone.
Correct.
um, so I think I kind of wanted to paint this picture because I know we have a lot of moms listening to this, and I really wanted to just highlight one, how amazing moms are, and
For sure.
how we are able to ask for help in other areas. But when it comes to like our own health and fitness, I find it's such a huge barrier for women to invest in themselves in that area and then also ask for help. Right.
Mhm.
And I know that I've struggled with that in the past of like, oh, I should have figured this out already. Like, I should already know how to lose weight and keep it off. I've been in the health and fitness industry since I graduated in 2010. Geez, that
Mhm.
sounds like forever ago, but it doesn't at the
I
same
know. When I
time.
say I graduated in 2008 or 2009, it's like, are you kidding me? Like, I feel like we were just dancing on tables and like,
You're crawling through my legs at the bar, swinging your
yes,
head
like
around with
doing
the Amish guy's
karaoke.
hat.
Yes. Oh my God. Like,
I know.
it has, yeah, wow. Yeah.
But I just know I know that like a lot of women struggle with that. And so let's talk about that because you and I back in 2023, and I know you've had experience with MyFitnessPal and tracking macros before
Mhm.
you got married. And you know what, Sarah? I had no idea. Actually, you know what? No. I remember being at Nan's house and you're like tracking in your phone, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And then I kind of hopped
That
on
was
that
for
train.
Hillary's wedding.
Oh, that was Hillary's wedding. Okay, so that wasn't for yours. Okay, so you've had experience then
Well, because
tracking.
Amanda is a huge proponent of tracking. Like Amanda has all, Amanda's one of my like besties, my like ride or die aside from Emily.
Hmm.
And she has tracked forever. And like it's
Hmm.
actually really funny. So I tracked with Hillary's wedding. And then when I was getting married, I got in touch with a personal trainer at the Y.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
When
And
I used to
honey,
sneak in.
what'd you say?
Remember when I used to sneak in with
Yes, but
your
then we got
gym
caught because the
membership?
whole picture thing, right? Then we
Yes.
like, because they made us take a
Panicked.
picture. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
See, there we go again. We didn't want to spend money. Like, where's the block? Like, the block was there. Like, women are, we just devalue our fitness and like our priorities. Like,
Yeah.
but anyway, okay. So I remember like we were working out, we were lifting because I knew the key to fat loss was lifting. And um this trainer that I met there was like, let's meet at like Chestnut Hill. Like now she was going to school, so she wasn't like hired by the Y. We had just met each other like at the gym. And she's like, let me take you on as a client. And I remember her sitting down and telling me about macros, about like
Mm.
protein and this and that. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. I just am
Hmm.
gonna go in at my 1,200 calories, which is so ridiculous. And I'm just gonna eat whatever I want, but keep it under that.
Mm.
So like I got a whiff of macros, but I didn't believe it or like, does that make sense? Like I
Yeah,
just was like,
absolutely.
forget you. Like I am just gonna not eat breakfast, eat a protein bar. She's like, you need to fuel more before the gym. And I was like, I know more than you. Who are
Mm.
you, this 18-year-old? Like,
Sarah, I could totally see that. Well, and plus you already graduated nursing school. So you were
yeah,
probably like, I know science. Like I've
exactly.
spent like hours and hours and hours and I got a 4.0. Was it 4.0 when you
I
graduated?
had a 4.0 going into the spring semester of
Okay.
my sophomore year, but
Okay.
who that's here, there, nor there.
But well, and I think too, I'm curious, the 1200, was that just something, the 1200 calories? Because I see that a lot. Like a lot of women think that that's what they need to do is eat 1200 calories or less. Like that's like the golden standard. Was that something that you just felt like, oh, well, I know it's worked for me before. I'm just going to do it again.
Well, because like all the like the food labels, it all says like based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So I guess
Mm,
like, all right, well, let's go 800 below it. Like,
yeah.
and it was just so restrictive. Like I even remember we had Jefferson's family over the one day for like a pizza party, and I was like, funny alternative, but I was like, I'm not gonna eat pizza. I'm gonna go to Subway and get a salad. Like what? Like I just was so restrictive in that phase of life that it made no like it wasn't feasible because then
Yeah.
after the wedding, like you're like, "Pff, the pictures are there, the deal is done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a baby
You locked him
eventually."
down. Yeah.
Yeah, you're locked down, you're sunk in, Jefferson.
Yeah. No way out.
Yeah, tricks on you.
Well, and I think that's such a like, and I know so many women who feel that way, right? Like they will go all in, get super, super restricted. They lose the weight. Like yeah, you're creating a caloric deficit, right? That's how
Mhm.
you lose fat. That's science. There, you can't dispute that. And so it does work, and it worked for you until you hit your goal. You got married, right? Like you fit into the dress,
Yeah.
and then you were
Hold on
just,
a
yeah,
second. I didn't just fit into the dress,
okay, yeah.
girl. Like this is where like I should be posting a picture. Maybe we put that like when we advertise the podcast, I'll post a picture of my guns because I did look smoking. But again, like you said, boom, the wedding was done.
Yeah.
I would like went kapow on the honeymoon. Like it was like if there was food, I was eating it.
Did you, was it, what do you say? It's food bag day.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Feedback day.
Feed
Dad would
bag
always say,
day.
let's put on the feedback. Like feedback. Like what? I know. I do think about that sometimes too. Like our family did focus a lot on food too. Like
Hmm.
it was a Sunday football on. Okay, what's our plan? Like I got
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, okay, keep going.
Anyways, but no, I think that's such great just to normalize on how like things that we were taught and things that we saw. And so let's fast forward. So then you and I had babies at the same time. So we were in it and we were just kind of, we would gain a lot of, or at least I gained a lot of weight. I was not the thin. I really wanted to be that cute little pregnant woman.
Mhm.
And that was just not me or you, really.
No, no, I wish we
No,
another again, I wish
I
we could
know.
have pictures because there's this fantastic one. All my old coworkers would know it where I'm like posted up and my belly is like from my thighs to my throat and like I don't even know how I took care of patients that big. Like
Yeah.
I but then we
But you
had
know,
big babies. Like
we did.
your kids were huge, my kids were huge. Like
And I think too, like, I think just culture, like, and when you ever watch movies and shows and you see pregnant women, how they're portrayed, they're always thin and they have like this cute little belly bump, right? And I think
Yeah.
just like in my head, that's what I expected because that's what I always saw. Like, I never saw other types of pregnant women. And I'm
Right.
not hating or shaming on women on how what they look like when they're pregnant. I think any way you look is beautiful,
Yeah.
but it
I
was
loved
just,
my beautiful big body. Like I was
yeah.
here for it. Like I couldn't say no to a DiGiorno pizza or a milkshake. So
Mm,
like it just was what it was. And I
yeah.
was thankful it was growing this baby.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I never did have any of that. Like I didn't struggle with how big I was. I just
Yeah.
owned it and like
Yeah.
I loved it because
Yeah.
it was a body that was growing my babies. But when it was done growing my babies is when I was like, well,
Hmm.
I'm breastfeeding. What the heck? You burn an extra 500 calories. Why is this not just like
Oh, that was because Hillary's like when she
so
breastfed,
skinny?
weight came right off. And I would always hear that. Like, I think mom would always tell us that. And
Yeah.
and I would physically see that with people in our life. And then, like, for you and I, it just didn't work that way.
No.
And I really thought, like, I truly thought like something was broken. Like, my body was just broken. I was doing something wrong. Um, and so yeah, and so I think after so I was done before you. And then after you had Jude, let's talk about when we started our macro counting journey together because I think I started first before you. Is that
For sure.
correct?
Yes, you did because
Yeah.
I remember you be trying to give me tips and I was like, I don't want to hear what you again, me. Stop like shocker, I'm very stubborn. Jefferson, I'm not admitting to that. But I didn't want to hear what you had to say.
Yeah.
Like, remember, you were like, Sarah, you should really chat, track, and see what you're eating in a day before you jump in. And I was like, if I'm tracking, I'm going in a deficit.
I remember that you really put pushback on that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's at the time that was when I was just learning. Like I just said yes to macro counting. And my friend Annie, you know Annie,
Yeah.
she suggested, she's like, okay, track for a couple days because you want to see where you're at first. And I remember doing that, and I actually love that part. And that's what I was trying to sell to you. I'm like, Sarah, but this is so amazing. You get to track your food and just get. For me, I was new at it. Like I never really did it before. And
Hmm.
so it was like, okay, I'm learning how to do it. And I don't have to make any changes right now. Like I thought that was so amazing. And I knew I was moving in the right direction because
Yeah.
I'm learning this skill and developing this skill and I don't have to make any changes yet.
Mhm.
And I really tried to sell that to you, but you were not hearing that and you just kind of went
I didn't
and
buy it.
no, you weren't buying it.
But remember,
Um,
I also, before I did macros, like my weight loss journey with Jude started, remember, by the intermittent fasting.
yes.
And that's when you
Yes.
were like, Sarah, this is not fulfilling and it's not sustainable. So
Yeah.
you did convince me to do the macros.
Yes. Well, and I tried the intermittent fasting because you did. I remember you did have success. I think you lost like 10 pounds, right? Something like that.
It was a good jump start, but that's because
Yeah.
yes, I was very overweight with Jude
Yeah.
after Jude. And that was,
We were both at our highest with our last kids. Like
mhm.
I know I didn't have the third, but I mean I was at my highest weight that I've ever been.
But
Um
I put mine on postpartum too.
so did I, Sarah. So did I. Because I think we also had this belief we're breastfeeding, we're going to be burning all these calories and it just didn't work out in our favor.
Well, and we're emotional eaters, but that's probably for
mm,
a whole other podcast.
yes. Yes, that's
We
a
could
whole
really do
other.
if everybody likes us, we could definitely do a whole other podcast on our emotional and our relationship with food.
Yeah. Sarah wants to go viral. Sarah wants us to go viral. So
Guys, hello, we are going viral. Like, I'll sit in another car seat in a van if I have to.
um okay, so but that's really great because I do remember I forgot intermittent fasting when before I even said yes to macro counting, I saw that you were doing it. Our cousin was doing it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. And I remember day two of it. I was cleaning the shower. I think I was talking to you on the phone. And I was like, I want to cut someone because I'm so hungry. And my body was so used to always eating first thing in the morning. And I was like, this is horrible. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to even do it. So
Yeah.
I did 2 days of intermittent fasting. And then that's when I remember asking Annie, she was my go-to, because she's a nurse practitioner. She worked in our office. Like that's what, she did. She helped people lose weight.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what are your thoughts about intermittent fasting? And she was so kind to me. She just like smiled at me and she's just like, because she was already sold into macro counting. And she's just like,
Oh, okay.
Emily, it's just another quick fix, and quick
It is.
fixes give you short-term results. And she was so
Yeah.
kind when she said that. And so, anyways, okay, so we're into macro counting. I was like a few weeks ahead of you. You didn't want to track before, which is totally fine. And then you just, I think, did you take my caloric deficit, my cut numbers,
I
I
think I
think?
just did whatever numbers like you said and like
Yeah.
really had to focus on amping up my protein because I already
Hmm.
was doing the like at home workouts. Like I was
Yes.
already doing, I think at that time I was doing beach body workouts
Hmm. Yeah.
or like just random stuff, consistent random stuff
Yeah.
at my house. So you were like, Sarah, the protein is really something to focus on. So that's really what I honed in on first was getting up my protein.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if the first time the cut that I told you just to focus on like your protein, your calories and fiber. That might have been the second time that we did a cut together. But okay. So, what were your thoughts? I know you did have some experience, but like with being a busy mom, like you've
Mhm.
already shared a lot of things that you're doing. And I don't think that any mom out there isn't busy, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I really don't know one that isn't. Um,
And if you
what,
are, do a podcast. Mhm.
um, what were you hesitant before you said yes to macro counting? Like, what were some of your objections to it?
I was unsure of like, there's a whole thing about like people always being on your phone around your kids or like, so I was hesitant about how much I would need to be on my phone on top of what
Mm,
I already am with like communications. Like, you get school communications via the phone now. You schedule doctor's appointments, like you do everything on your phone. It just seems like always another thing that I had to do on my phone.
mm,
So that kind of was like I wasn't here for that. Like that was a hesitation of mine. And the time, like, would I be able to make the recipes? Would I be able to like stick to the macros and
mm.
track accurately? The tracking accurately,
Mhm.
that's like was my biggest, I would say that was my biggest hurdle when I first started macro counting.
Were you afraid if you couldn't track it perfectly, then like you wouldn't be
Correct. Like
successful?
I
Like,
would
what's
just
the
do the all
point?
or nothing. Like if
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out for dinner tonight and I can't track, forget it.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's such a big misconception. I think that was a big part for me too. I always tell people the day that I started tracking was the day that I almost quit, the same day that I said I was, because I remember being at the office and thankfully, there was a couple other girls there that have tracked before. So I'm like
Oh, cool.
asking them all the questions, like, how did you do it? And I remember the one, she was like super, super like strict on how she did it. And I was like, okay, no, I don't want that kind of system. Like that seemed really
Too
overwhelming to
much.
me. Yeah. And so I think when I just started letting myself be okay with not tracking perfectly is when the weight came off the shoulders in the way
Right.
of like, okay, I don't have this pressure to track perfectly. And I remember before I even hired her as a coach, I remember her saying how, like, even when you scan food labels, that's not even 100% accurate because they're not going to give like decimal points in the calories in the nutrition facts label, so they round them up anyway, which I was like, oh, okay, so like there, even when we're scanning, it's not 100%. And then if you do, like, I never weighed my fruit because it was just low in calories and I just didn't want to weigh it. I just would like log, oh, I had, a medium sized apple.
Yeah.
But for people who
Pick your
work,
battles like you do with your kids. Like,
exactly. Yes. Like that, I wanted to save some time. And I remember her also saying, like, even though like a fruit, each like apple weighs the same amount, they still have different like nutrition makeup. So it's still not even 100%. So
okay.
that like I think helped my brain a little bit, knowing that like, okay, I can't even log perfectly. So I'm just gonna like not even put that as a standard for me to hold myself to. And that really helped, I think, soften that for me.
You know what? And I'm thinking, I do remember when you said that point about your trainer or like your coach that like the labels aren't even 100%
Mm,
accurate. And I was like, I don't know, something about that was like, okay, like I can be more flexible. Like I'm not going to go out to dinner Monday through Friday and still
mhm.
be flexible because that's not realistic either. Like, what is your goal of this? But just being able to, I'm trying, I'm thinking back. So it's hard to think about the different cuts, but during my first cut
Yeah.
was Henry's birthday. And
Mm,
so I remember there was going to be like a lot of good stuff there. So I made myself like I just got creative with the food that I made. So like for breakfast that day, I did I'll never forget. I did egg whites and cottage cheese. Just hit my protein so then I could go to the party and like yeah, I tracked, but it wasn't I don't know how much monkey bread I really did have or
mhm.
like would you have long johns like
Oh, we
that
had a brunch. Yeah,
yes,
that
remember we
was
had a
banging
brunch?
food.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that
like
was
I knew there
banging
was going to be
food.
good food there and like there
Yeah.
was an egg casserole. So I knew I was like, I'm gonna get a lot of protein in this morning, the lowest calorie way possible. So I
Hmm.
have a little bit more freedom when I go to the party. But the bottom line is I still tracked. Like I still
Yeah.
took accountability and I didn't just go off the rails.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
know what?
Yeah.
Yes, I started my cut before Juba's even won because I'm thinking Jefferson ran there because he was training for that stinking his last marathon he did.
That could be a podcast episode in itself.
Yeah, there you go. And ladies, I started tracking with three kids at home, five, three, under one, and a husband going back for a marathon and a husband training for a marathon. Like that is
Yeah.
just
Yeah. So, and I love that you brought up about birthday parties because we hit a lot of birthday parties in our first cut, and a cut will
we
be
did.
called, yes, in macro world, a cut is that's your fat loss phase. That's where you create a caloric deficit, and you have the start date and the end date, right? Like I was really big on that for both of us. Because that's what my mentor taught me, and it makes it way more enjoyable, and then you can
Yeah.
sustain your results, right?
But I
And
didn't want to listen to you for that one either because I was like,
no.
I'm cutting until I get down to like, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, and pushing out the goal line, the finish
Uh-huh.
line, and then that's when we get the diet fatigue and yeah. Um so
Birthday parties.
the birthday parties, yeah, and I remember I think that's when mom then jumped on the macro train because we were having all of those birthday parties in a row, we're in our cut, and mom was at all those parties, and I think because she saw us, we ate the food. Like we didn't eat separate food. Like we
Correct.
had, I remember at Nora's birthday party and Jude's first birthday party, like we were all there and we ate. Like I didn't bring my own meal and I didn't say no to the foods. I just used a system with the macro counting where, like you
Yeah.
said, like I ate a little bit leaner during the day leading up. I did a lot of pre-logging. Like
Mhm.
pre-logging was so
Pre-logging.
helpful
So
and
helpful.
moved some things around. And so I think that's what really sold mom on this is because she was so used to when people do diets, there's a lot of food restriction, like there's no foods off limits or there's foods off limits, right? And or you have to buy special products, like you have to buy special food. And I'm curious for you, Sarah, because we do love food. Like I still have an
Love food.
identity, like I'm a foodie and I wanted to learn how can I find this really beautiful balance between foods that we really love and foods that are really going to fuel us. And so we don't just keep losing the same weight over and over again.
Correct.
And for me, it was when I heard macro counting, there were no foods off limits. Like that was like I was all in. So I'm curious, like, what were some of the things that sold you on the macro counting that you were like, okay, Emily, like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
I'm a numbers person. Like
Mm,
I love numbers. So like it's if you use like macros first, the one the app that like we use, you set all your macros and then you can like you said pre-log. So it was kind of fun to be like, okay, I still need this much protein. What is a way that I can get it under these calories? Like I remember the one time I like knew it was going to be a tough day of like there must have been some kind of like social event or like I had a heavier lunch and I was like I need to figure out the way to like maximize my protein intake with the smallest amount of calories. So I made this like huge volume pudding with like Fairlife and like sugar-free pudding. And like this
hmm
thing I could like I ate it like all day long. And it was just so cool because it was so like the creativity side of it, like to use the foods and make them fun and good and
hmm
still help you meet your calories at the same time was just like And I still love doing that today. Like, or finding things to like flavor your food that isn't a lot of calories. Like right now I'm into this, like I do my egg whites. I like do the same breakfast. I love my carb balance wrap because you get your fiber, you
Mm-hmm.
get your carbs. I do a thin slice of Swiss cheese. The freaking light Swiss cheese from leaving Costco still is like a gut punch. I love the Jasper light Swiss cheese that Costco.
Oh, and that's not there at Costco anymore?
I'm like, it hasn't been there for like,
Oh, geez, I missed that. Okay.
oh yeah. So Giant has this like thin slice Swiss cheese. It's still not the same. The Jasper light
Yeah,
was just
it
bomb.
was good. Yeah.
My egg whites, and then I've been like adding like a little this hot like truffle hot sauce. Like just finding
Ooh,
it is
that sounds good.
truffle.
I love truffle.
Yeah, this truffle
Mm,
hot sauce,
mm.
so good.
Okay.
It's funny because my neighbor Melissa got me into it, and then I got it for Jefferson for Christmas, like as a stocking stuffer, but here I'm the one using it. I don't know. It just is like so fun ways like that. Or like mustard, like Dijon. Like that's a great way to like season stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that you can still be a foodie. And bottom line, you can still be a foodie and eat creative
Yes.
with your food.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Well, and
go
I think this is I'm so glad we're talking about this because when you and I were doing it together and you would like find a really great recipe or you really liked it and I wanted to try it, you could send me your recipe on the app and then
Mhm.
I didn't have to create the recipe. So like that saved me time. So it was so nice doing it together
For sure.
where yes, like wasn't that I remember
Doing a
we
buddy during
yeah.
it is also the best. Like, remember
Yeah.
we were into our like homemade pizza. We
Yes.
did the
Mhm.
pizza night, and then we even got like wild with like doing stuffed crust with the cheese sticks.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
kids loved it. And then we
Yep.
did the Crunchwrap Supreme night.
Hmm.
Remember? That was so good.
That was
And mom's
good.
like, "Are you weighing mine?" Or we'd give her the one that we like didn't weigh or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. Or like, remember you were like, Sarah, this is this mac and cheese I want you to try from what is it, like Stay Fit Macros or something like that.
Stay
Like
fit mom.
Stay Fit
Hmm.
Mom. So like we tried that mac and cheese. Like it was fun to do it together.
Together.
And I
It
think that
was.
was cool too.
I that definitely helped, especially when we were planning our parties and you were
Yes.
letting me know what was on the menu and I was letting you know what was on the menu and that was so, so helpful. And but I'm curious, okay, so obviously there's going to be people, women who aren't going to have a buddy to do it with,
Mhm.
or they might not have as much support, or aren't able to know ahead of time of what's going to be there, right? So like you and I,
Yeah.
we had like insider information. And also like you now going through a cut, like we're not in it together right now. I'm not
Mhm.
tracking my macros right now. So what would be your best advice to someone that has worked for you when you're going into a place and you don't know what the food's going to be there, or like what are some of the strategies that you've used that have been helpful for you because you've had a lot of success with macro counting and you've had a
Mhm.
lot of success of like letting go of that idea of perfectionism. What are
Mhm.
some ways that has helped you to do that?
Well, like I just said, planning ahead is key. Like if I know I'm gonna go out to eat, or I know I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, or I know I'm gonna do something, I'm do focus on, like I said, the high calorie, or sorry, the low calorie to protein ratio.
Yeah.
Like I might not eat a protein bar that day because I'd rather get a higher amount of protein in like a fuller food. Like I might meet more egg whites that day, or hit a yogurt up because I feel like the yogurt fills me up more with the lower calorie to protein ratio. Um, but I have been going to a local coffee shop lately, and if you're in Lancaster
Is that
County,
Devon's? Yeah,
yeah,
Devon's
if you're
coffee
in
shop.
Lancaster County, Trolley Line, they are awesome with helping you count macros. Like they're like, "Are you tracking today, Sarah?" So they will tell me like what milk, how much it is, and they even have like the pumps that like will let me scan. Like now Starbucks, granted, like has everything in their menu, but if you customize it, you don't know what you're getting. But at Trolley Line, like they're like, "Hey, Sarah, this is how's this much?" Or like I was going in to get a cappuccino the other day, and Gabe, the barista, was like, "If you're really looking to be like less calories, like why don't you try it with the almond milk? That's going to be the best bang for your buck." Like And so he tells me how much almond milk it is. Like that's to me, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I think a lot more restaurants too. Shout out to Trolley Line though. I love Devin and her family. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to try that out. I'm not a coffee drinker, but maybe there's some sweet treats there.
There's definitely sweet treats. Mom is
Okay.
obsessed with their baked oatmeal, and Jude
Ooh.
slams their hot chocolate, and that's probably where
Okay.
he is right
Right
now
now.
at the coffee
Okay.
shop.
Yeah. I love that.
Mom
Uh,
keeps saying, like mom, like
mhm.
I'm gonna get in a coffee one of these days. I'm gonna get a coffee one of these days, and I'm like, oh my gosh, mom, are you gonna get a coffee today? But she just sticks to her baked oatmeal, and because the baked oatmeal is bomb there.
Yeah. But that's such a great point though, because so like they're very accommodating to that, which is awesome. And
Yeah,
I know that there's a lot of other restaurants and places that you can look if you're pre-logging, which I 1000% recommend
pre-log,
to. Planning ahead
amen.
is super, super helpful. And you can look up ahead the menu and see a lot of those places do have macros labeled, which is awesome.
Mm.
And remember too, even when you're going out to dinner and they're saying, okay, these are what the macros are, again, it's still not going to be 100% accurate because you're going to have different chefs. And some chefs are going to maybe put a little bit more oil on. They're not weighing food like we are when we're tracking at home. So it's just another great indication that like perfection is not ever needed. Um, okay.
I have a funny story
Yeah.
about that.
Okay.
So recently during the second cut as well, or this cut as well, I was going out for ice cream with Devin and Macy, and I knew we were gonna go to Little Dippers and they have Penn State ice cream. So I'm like, I'm just gonna look in my app to see if they have Penn State ice cream in there. Boom, they do. So I was like, great, I can log this. I was thinking back to my days when I lived in Avondale, where the creamery down there, they charged you by how much weight it was. Okay. So I
Hmm.
go to this restaurant, or I go to this ice cream window, and I'm thinking that they weigh their ice cream there. So I'm like, I'll have 4 ounces of your sticky bun ice cream. And the girl looks at me and was uh, like exactly 4 ounces? And I was like, yeah, don't you weigh your ice cream? And she's like, no.
And were you like, well, if you don't know how to weigh ice cream, you're not going to make it in life?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Just shade, just throw shade at me on the podcast.
I know, Sarah, that
But
just made
she
me
was
think, yeah,
like, she's like, we can do a kid size, which is like between 4 to 6. And she's like, we don't have to fill it up to the top. And I'm like, fill it up to the top. Like that is fine.
yeah.
So like there in that moment, I could have been like, well, forget it, my day's done. But like, why?
And did you still track it? Like, did you still
Yes,
log
I
it?
still
Yeah.
tracked it and I
Yeah.
put, she's like, it's between 4 to 6. So I just put in 5. Because the
Awesome.
reality is that extra ounce is not going to make or break my cut.
Yeah. That's awesome, Sarah. That's such a great example. Love
Yeah,
that.
this one has definitely been more enjoyable. And I do hate to say it though, I have been doing it with a buddy.
Oh, no, don't say, hate to say that. I love that. Who are you
So
doing
I
with?
don't know if I've ever really
Yeah.
done a cut solo, but I think that there's always women out there that like are willing to track
Hmm.
or willing to do it with you just so that way like you have somebody else. Like it's fun. Like me and Melissa are doing it together and I've been,
Yeah.
making my sourdough. And I'll be like, you want to try my bread? I got your macro recipe here for you. So and I like beep, send the bread over, beep, send the like the piece of bread over. And like
I
we're like,
love
she
that.
made dinner the other night and she's like, me and Kevin don't really like it, but I made a recipe. You're more than welcome to have it. And it was like something that was right up my alley. So like it is fun to do it with somebody else.
Oh, 1000%. I think whenever we're doing new things or just different habits, creating new habits, doing it with that other person, it helps it because you have that accountability, right? Because like your
Correct.
friend, she knows you're tracking. She also knows like you guys are both tracking. And so there's that like you want to hold yourself accountable, but then also having that outside support really does go a long way.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to cover one other thing because I feel like this was really, really helpful for us when we first started tracking in
Okay.
our first cut. Our treat meals.
Mm,
Do you remember we used to do treat meals and we normally would schedule those on the weekends, and that
yep.
was like an untracked meal. What are your thoughts about that? Now you're at a different level with tracking. And when I got to a different level of tracking, I still wanted the data. So I wanted to see the data. So I don't do untracked meals anymore. But how awesome were they, especially in the beginning?
They were some of the most like freeing times.
Yeah.
Like where it just kind of gave you that like break to not really think about it too.
Yeah.
I will say I still do it now.
Yeah.
Like especially the weekends that I work, like I track all weekend long and then like that meal on Saturday when I'm just like I know like
Yeah.
you once you do macro counting, you kind of get an idea of like how many calories you have left, like what you have to do. So like instead of just wasting the time on the scale and like that kind of stuff, I just eyeball that meal just for the freedom of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that to me, it also keeps me away from being going back to those ways of being so restrictive and so focused on the numbers that like it still kind of keeps me accountable for that too.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense? Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it totally does. Um, I I totally recommend treat meals still. And there were times that I just wanted to see the data, like
yeah,
instead of like not tracking or not tracking it. But um I want, and I think this is such a great point because I know we're gonna wrap this up soon, but I loved how you said you now really have an idea of what portion sizes look like for you,
correct.
right?
Like I think
Like
yes.
and how do you think that's possible for you? Like, why do you feel like you're able to do that now?
I think just with practice. Like
Hmm.
I would not have if you're going to track macros, I 100% recommend spending that extra $15 to get the food scale. Like I think that that is a necessary tool when you are first tracking
Yeah.
because if you see the reels like you think this is how much peanut butter is 190
Hmm.
calories in reality it is not that big of a like you also might be underestimating
Yeah.
so I think that that is what is such a helpful tool to be able to really see how much you can eat or how easy it is to overeat.
Yeah.
So I think just being able to like recognize things, like I can pretty much eyeball how much 4 ounces of chicken is that Jefferson's gonna grill,
Yeah.
you know?
And you wouldn't have been able to do that without weighing your food.
Exactly. And like
Yes.
that is the first step that like, and like you said, the fruits and the vegetables, like when I make a salad, I really don't chart my lettuce because
You just said chart. I love it. You don't
chart it,
chart your
chart it.
lettuce.
There's the nurse in me. I don't log my lettuce. Or like if I munch on some cucumbers or something like that to me sometimes is like that's where you also learn if you're worried about being busy and not tracking. We didn't really talk about that. Like how did we
Yeah.
do it with being busy?
Yeah.
You did like the pre-log the night before. Like if you've meal planned the week out, like you kind of know. And like breakfast, I really kept the same because it just made it easy. I still eat the
Hmm.
same breakfast because it's fine with me. Every once in a while, I'll add the turkey sausage. Like I feel like you and I got on a kick for that, or like add Canadian bacon, or if I'm feeling real frisky, I'll add an egg with the egg whites. But keeping things the same kind, like for breakfast, the
Repeating.
same
Yes.
really was helpful. And like knowing my go-to snacks,
Hmm.
like
And you,
planning ahead with the snacks.
yes. And I think that's such a big part of it is that planning, you have to make time to plan ahead. You just
Correct.
do. Like
Mhm.
winging it is going to make it so much harder for you to be consistent and to really stick with it. And so um I think to your point of, okay, well, how do you plan ahead even when you're busy, right? Like what were some of the strategies that you utilized so even when you're busy, you're still able to do it?
Like Sunday night, like the weekend, when like you're not in the hubbub of schools and practices and all that kind of stuff. Like just planning ahead for like what Sunday looks like, and for the rest of the week, like planning out those meals. So you know like which meal is going to be like a heavier meal, or maybe you have your husband grill chicken on Sundays. I know you and I both like to do that, and then we have
Hmm.
grilled chicken for lunch, or just having those staples like the Just Bare chicken breast fillets. Remember we were
Mm.
into those the chicken also the chicken patties at Costco too. The Amy Lou ones.
Oh yeah,
Like
and we
having
would put
those
that on a salad.
staples,
Yeah, the
like
staples. Yeah.
ladies, like if I'm telling you macros really works, but having somebody that has gone through it before and like you as a coach, is so helpful because if you go in it blind and not knowing the tips and the tricks that like we already went through, like we already were your
Yeah.
guinea pig, like
Yeah.
we did the ups and the downs for you. Like
Yeah, we made a lot of mistakes. Believe
we
me,
did.
we
But
made a lot of mistakes along the way.
but yeah,
But
you giving me the tips for the the snacks really helped too. Like, and I'm not a big protein drink person. So more recently I've been mixing a little bit in with my iced coffee, but I try to get my protein in other ways than that. But like I know you're a big Fairlife drinker.
yeah, I do like my protein shakes. But I go through stages.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm drinking them, sometimes I'm making my own.
Yeah, I
But
was a big making my own for a while too. But then
yeah.
I just got sick of always washing that dish. I don't know
Yeah.
why. That's so silly. I just was like, I'm over washing this dish today.
Well, that's why like I'll rotate it through. So like the cup that I use to make my protein shake, I'll put that in the dishwasher. Then I know the next day I'm gonna just drink one from the fridge, my Fairlife.
Okay. That's a good
That's
point. That's a good
yeah.
point. See, I feel like I get in kicks. We're like, all right, if I'm gonna be blending them, I'm
Mhm.
gonna be blending them every day.
Yeah. Well, and so I also wanted to quickly talk about how were our meals really complex when
No,
we made stuff? No.
no.
Weren't
Like,
they pretty freaking simple? And weren't you making meals that you made before and using
yes,
that? Yeah.
yes. Like, remember my tuna noodle casserole?
Oh, so good.
I know, recipe. Like, and the best part is, like I said, I love like tailoring recipes to make it for what you need. Like, I think that one
Hmm.
called for sour cream, but like, hello, Greek yogurt, like,
Yep.
hello, skim milk as opposed to whole milk. Like, just putting in those little things. It's actually funny you
Yep.
say that because tonight we're making mini cheddar meatloaves, which like crowd pleaser for the fam. Already have the recipe built in my macros, like, and then I'll cut up. I'm making my own homemade sweet potato fries because Jude's been obsessed with them, and like that's nothing. Like I'll just track the way the sweet potato fries because I do that spray on avocado spray. Like
Hmm.
I don't. It's fun if you. It's fun to be creative with the food that you eat. Like
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm making my homemade sourdough and I'm still on my cut putting that into my phone. Like,
And eating the cinnamon swirl bread that you make.
oh, that cinnamon swirl bread. I know I
No.
have to get you a loaf. It is like Melissa the other day was like, it's funny when she ate it, same thing I did. She's like, I want to make
Mhm.
sourdough now. And
Yeah.
like, it's the one that like gets you to be like, should I make sourdough?
And you get, yeah, because that's when I first experienced with your neighbor bringing it over and I
Yeah.
was like,
And then that's when I was
oh,
like, Angie, I need it. Like, let's do it.
yes, that was so good. Okay. So I want you to just, if there's women that are on the fence about macro counting and maybe they've never tried it before, like me, or they've tried it before, like you, and found like that they didn't have the success that they were looking for, what would be that like one piece of advice that you would give them?
Stick with it. Like, and reach out to somebody. Like, I don't think I would have been successful with macro counting, honestly, if I didn't have you, which is such like a piece of humble pie for me to track.
Yeah.
Because, gosh, I'm so witty. Like it's just ridiculous. Um, because like it's humbling for me to say that because again, I'm the oldest. Like you're supposed to take advice from me. So like that was a whole humbling experience to like have to like rely on you and hear your pieces of information. But through each cut, I have learned, or just tracking in general,
Hmm.
I have learned something from you. So I think finding somebody that is obviously like a pioneer and like knows the ins and outs of macro counting, knows the tools and the helpful tips to get you through it is gonna what's gonna make all the difference.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna find yourself re-energized again. Like I know I was like slipping into, we talked about how great I did with going back to school, but like I stopped prioritizing myself with going back to school. I stopped prioritizing in the beginning, like my exercise and my nutrition. And so that's why I'm in this a cut again because like I'm a priority. Like my
Mhm.
health is a priority. Staying active, being in shape for myself and my kids is a priority. And I think that that's what the tools for macro counting and with this cut again are really helpful. So like I said, just knowing somebody that knows the ins and outs is and
So
dedicated to
helpful.
listening to you. Like how
Yeah.
many conversations have like we had where you just have listened to like what I'm struggling with or like not that like has been so helpful to me, you know?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
having that dedicated person to help you in this journey, you're worth it and you need it.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that. And I was so glad that I I know I never would have been successful like I have been with macro accounting if I didn't invest in mentorship. Like I
Yeah.
know that because I didn't have that strategy. I didn't know how to, okay, great. Like I now feel in control with the foods that I'm eating because I have this awesome tool of macro accounting. But then how do I transition from like not tracking forever? Because I knew I didn't want to track forever
Yeah.
and learning that like how do I do a reverse diet, right? That was fun. That was
Oh, I
interesting
forgot when we did that. That was fun
to do
too.
that together. And that's something I love to teach the process of a reverse diet. Mom did one. Mom
Yeah.
did a reverse diet. And that was so great to learn that from someone who's already done one because I never did one before. I never even heard of a
Yeah.
reverse diet. And I've been in the health and fitness industry for over, what, 15 years. And I never heard of that before. So it is really, really helpful because then I mean, you can still figure it out. I'm not saying
Mhm.
that people aren't going to figure it out, but it's like, how long is it going to take you to figure it out when
Yeah.
you have someone who's already done it, who's already come out the other side and have what you want, right? Like
But like
that.
we and also we just touched on the tracking aspect, but like
Yeah.
we didn't talk about the other data tools that you want to collect. That like I remember you being like, "Well, Sarah, are you taking your measurements?" Like there's just so much to the whole cut and the whole tracking purpose that like there's so much data to collect that if you don't know how to collect that either, you
Hmm.
don't know if it's working for you.
Right, right.
I,
And how has it like actually, I know I feel like we could just talk forever because I
I know.
really want to talk about like how has macro counting and collecting data like your average weekly weight and your body measurements and your progress pictures, like how has that also helped you with improving your relationship with the scale and also relationship with food? Because at 4th of July, I remember you, Hillary, and I. Sorry, Hill, we're throwing you on the bus in front of the bus a little bit. But like when we went for a walk after we had our 4th of July meal, and Hillary felt like she just needed to walk it
To
off.
walk. Oh, I
And
know.
you and I were both like, no, I mean, we generally just wanted to walk just to
Yeah.
move our bodies and to have fun, but we didn't have that stress of like, we got to walk it off now.
Yes.
Right.
And that to me is like, so if I go for a run or I go for a walk, it's now for me. Like it is for
Hmm.
my mental health. It is for me to like, I put my AirPods in and I just rock out to worship music and get right in the head. While I know who runs to worship music. I don't know, but Forrest Frank, he's got a good
I
beat.
do.
Like,
Forrest Frank. I love Forrest Frank.
and I
Yes.
just think and like it just takes me to a new place and like I'm running and I'm doing it not because of what I want to eat that day, but I'm
Right.
doing it because I need it up here. I'm
Hmm.
pointing to my head. And yes, I don't have that pressure anymore of like I have to do this to lose weight.
Yes. How freeing is that?
It's so freeing. And
And
like
it's not a
even
punishment either. Like you're not
yeah.
exercising as a punishment because you had the sourdough cinnamon swirl bread.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like I eat the sourdough swirl bread because I wanted to, and it's delicious, and it's good. Like, and it's
Yeah.
fine. And the pictures are so fun because it's like, wow, like their motivation. And so, yeah, when you see the scale that like went up from the weekend because maybe you overindulged on the weekend, you know that it came from excess fluid and the salt.
Hmm.
But also, you only are going to know that if you're taking your measurements
Hmm.
and the pictures and have a coach.
Hmm.
Like again, like I'm thankful enough that you're my sister and you gave me bits and pieces like through the journey that like, I kind of took advantage. But
You
you
did
know what I'm saying?
not.
Like
Yeah.
I'm thankful that like I have you to rely on as a sister and that you've put the work in to get yourself ready to help other women.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so proud of you that you like use that like, well, if you indulge in the weekend, like of course the scale is going to be up because it's just water weight. Like carbs hold more water. And the fact that like that's stuck with you, that's like a belief of yours. Do you feel like that's played such a huge role in improving your relationship with the scale? Because like
Oh,
what would you have done like if the scale was up over the weekend, you're tracking your macros and come Monday morning, like how would you have reacted differently versus now?
Oh, I probably would have been like switch back to intermittent fasting. Like I probably would have
Hmm.
like went way under my macros for the day because I
Hmm.
was like punishing myself for like
Hmm.
overdoing it on the weekend. And it's just it's not like fulfilling anymore. And this cut like full disclosure, I've been losing a pound a week. I'm not like setting the world on fire, but that's not to me what it's about. To me, it's about like the slow and steady and like sustainable weight loss journey for me that like I'm here for this cut. Like just getting back to me, getting back to the place that I was like before I started school and like I'm relearning again. Like when a
Hmm.
new change comes, you know me, I'm very drastic. So like I jumped all in and went to school. And like this cut is different because I'm in the cut, but I'm not all in, if that makes sense. Like I'm not like it's
You're
not rocking my
committed.
world. I'm
Yeah.
committed, but I'm still living my life. Like I went on
Yeah.
a girls' night on a Tuesday, or like I'm still going to the coffee shop with my friends. Like I'm still doing stuff and not because you want it to be a part of your life. Like you want it
Hmm.
to be sustainable.
Hmm. And I think it's really important to like, I love the fact that you're saying you're still doing the things that you want to do. And also, like, you have found creative ways to be able to like fit it in. Like, I think that I want people to know this is not all rainbows and butterflies, right? Like, there
For
are
sure. There
hard
are some days
parts
where you're
to it.
hungry.
Yeah. I think we need to normalize that too. There are days like when you're in a cut that you are going to feel hunger at some times, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that I don't want people to think like, oh my gosh, like I'm hungry sometimes, or like in order to make this sourdough bread fit in, like like had to say no to this over here. And I think that's really important too, to understand that there are hard parts to it.
Yeah.
But when you look at what we used to do and look for the next trendy diet, the next restrictive diet, which hard is actually easy?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because
Exactly.
if we choose like the next trendy, like restrictive diet, that might feel easy for us because that's what we're used to and that's what we know. But is it really the easier way? No, because
Obviously not. No, it's just
right?
because you're going back and forth and
It's
you're punishing
exhausting.
yourself. There's no
Yes.
punishment in this. Like,
Yes.
but you are right. I think that's a great point that we should like not end on, but like you're right. We could talk forever. Like when
I
you said
know.
45 minutes, I'm like, are we gonna have enough content? Like,
Sarah, I don't even know how long it's been.
I know. Well, but what I do want to say is like the other week I said to Melissa, I was like, girl, I was like, I'm done Halloween because my body's starting to be like, all right, like, where's the food? No,
Yeah.
but like you do every once in a while because like I slowly added more exercise too. So like I'm trying not to pull all three levers at once. Emma will be your coach. She'll tell you about the levers. That's another podcast. Gosh, we're racking up the podcast.
I know.
But I think that you are 100% right because there are times where you're like, shoot, I only have 100 calories left and like I'm hungry. Like,
Yeah.
especially with sports, like I'm eating at 5 o'clock sometimes before I take Nora to
Mhm.
softball. But I try to, again, plan ahead and leave a yogurt left that, like, if I know if I'm going to eat dinner early, then I know I'm going to want a snack. So, like, I have a yogurt that's like plugged already that I can eat later.
Mhm. Yeah.
Also, bubblies or the poppies have also helped in the evenings just to kind of like, because poppies I think are like 25, 35 calories and bubblies are nothing. And it just kind of gives you that like sense of satisfaction to kind of like you're putting something in your belly that's different than water. So that's kind of been great for me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think that's so great. Like you found ways to make it more enjoyable. And that's what's so amazing with macro counting because there's nothing that's off limits for you. And
Exactly.
you get to customize it for your own body, your unique needs and your goals. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's so effective because it's customized to you. Because for me, like a bubbly, I could care less about. That's just not
Yeah.
something but like there's other things that I like that you don't like and vice
Yeah.
versa. So it's so great because it's personalized, right? Like, would you want to buy a dress that's off the rack or a dress that was customized to fit your unique body?
I mean, let's pick something else that I really want to be buying.
Okay. That's true. You wouldn't care about maybe like sneakers. Are you still into sneakers?
Yeah, I am. Jefferson just showed me a really cute pair. And I was like,
Okay.
I love them, but they're white, like not really great for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, like you remember when I customized my Nike sneaks? Like when I
Yes.
got out of nursing school, I went on that Nike.com. You and Hill hit me up with a gift card. I got
Yes.
yeah. So customize my sneaks all day
Okay.
long.
There we go. I'll use that as a metaphor for you next
Dress, I'm
time.
just wearing whatever hand-me-down
Yeah.
you give me.
Sarah, that's so true too.
And then I'm passing it on to mom when I'm done.
I do love that because you and mom, literally every time I see you guys, especially if it's like, dressing up or something, like I'm always seeing my outfits on you guys. But that's
My
great. I love that.
my anniversary dinner dress. Did you recognize that? It was
No.
the striped dress with like the little flower appliques on it or whatever.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, I love that.
No. Jefferson's like, oh, I didn't know you were getting so fancy. I was like, well, thanks to your sister-in-law.
Sarah. All right. Well, I think, yeah, we'll wrap it up, but hopefully, I trust that this has served a lot of women listening to this, especially just hearing our experience together and how we started out together and
Yeah,
how perfection is not needed. I think that's a huge thing that I just really want women and moms to know is that perfection is not needed. Because remember, like at the end of the day, you either get the lesson that was needed or the result that you wanted, and both are so valuable. And I feel like you and I have learned so much more from our lessons than the results that we got.
for sure.
Right? Like
Yeah.
failure is such a great teacher. Like you learn so much more from it. And I think what's so cool is that you and I have both gone through a couple different cuts. Each cut we were always successful in losing the weight, but each time around I think there were still lessons that we had to learn, right?
Mhm.
Like I knew there was lessons for me, like, oh, I need to track longer in a reverse, or and then the next lesson, I need to track longer in maintenance so I can actually see what maintenance looks like for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to really, like, instead of just going through the motions, I really want to take a look at like what my portion sizes really look like, right? Instead of
Yeah.
just like weighing my food and not really thinking about it. And so that's the really awesome thing about it is like each time you go around, you're just at a different level and you're learning the lesson that is needed for you to continue to hit the goals that you want.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Boom, there it is.
Mic drop.
Yes, mic drop. Okay. So, yeah, Sarah, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
know that you are a busy mama and I know that it definitely took some work for us to schedule this and I would love to obviously have you back on. I'm
I
curious, yeah, to see what people think.
I know I am too. Like I think, yeah, I'm curious to see what the people think too. But like I hope that like, yes, I am busy, but like this was a priority to me because I feel so passionate about what you do.
Mm,
Like I hope with this we have at least woken a couple women that like are like want to grab their sister, want to grab their friend, and are like, let's hit up Coach Emily and like let's get this started because
mhm,
I really do feel passionate about the freedom that macro counting is for women and for busy moms, like you said.
mhm.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that when we would do those like restrictive diets or giving up sugar, that was always my go-to. It just each time that like I stopped doing that and I went back to my old habits, it just slowly chipped away at my self-worth and then like believing in myself that I could do this. Like I really was like, "Oh my gosh, like maybe I just this doesn't work for me and it works for everyone else, but not for me." Or I
yeah,
didn't try hard enough and it totally made me not trust myself.
yeah,
And I'm so thankful that we could do this together when we first started
it
and
was fun. Yeah.
I just decided to run with it and also felt like this call to serve and share this with other women because I was like, why didn't I learn about this before? Why wasn't I taught this strategy before? And I'm like, I cannot not keep this in. And I know you were really big with that too. Like you would always share with your friends, like you would talk to them about macro
Yeah.
counting and just starting to plant those seeds for women. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
we're going to wrap it up, and I'm sure we'll have Sarah back on here with sharing her insights. And thank you so much again, Sarah. And you know how I always feel like life is always happening for us, right? And I truly believe that for you, and I believe that for everyone listening. So thank you so much. And I did extend doors to be open for Macros for Mom. That's the program that I am launching and wanting to create a community of women just like my sister and
Yeah.
just like all the other amazing mamas out there who have struggled with keeping weight loss off and are just ready to get out of that diet yo-yo cycle. I extended the days to enroll, and so I'm gonna put this episode out here shortly, just so people can hear it. And And if they have any questions for you, Sarah, I don't know. Some people might be like, oh, like I kind of want to ask Sarah some questions. Where could they find you on social media?
Instagram, right? I don't know. I don't even know my Instagram handle. Emily, tag me. Gosh.
Sarah, I don't know what made me say that because I'm so used to like having a guest and I'm like, where can they find you?
Yeah. I'm
Sarah.
like,
I don't even know what your handle is. Is it Sarah Mixell?
Emily, I don't even know. I think it's like
Yeah.
Sarah not spelled right because it was a
Yeah.
joke that I made like forever
Oh,
ago.
okay.
You better
Well,
go.
yes, I gotta go. My boys are home. Hi.
All right.
All right. Sarah, thank you again so much. I love you so much.
Love you too,
And
girl.
yes. All right. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love.